Kelly Hugo. I live in Princeton, Minnesota currently. I'm originally from Wisconsin, and I am a counselor at North Junior High in St. Cloud. It was the 14th of December when we were notified that he had been shot, and they pronounced him dead on the 16th, and I said goodbye to him on the 17th, and he donated his organs on the 18th in German time. He arrived back in the States because of a snowstorm on the 21st of December, and we had a memorial service here on the 1st of January and had an Arlington service of internment on the 4th of January. So it's been approximately 5 months, and it doesn't seem very long, but then in other ways it feels like an eternity. Sean was always a child. I knew from the moment he was born that he was going to be larger than life. In fact, there was nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with him at birth, but yet I baptized him the second day after he was born, only because I knew I needed some kind of reassurance that he had a connection with a higher power. He would do things that you would never ever dream of, and he was the kind of child where you just shook your head and said, what happened and how did it happen, who saw it? And so there was a triage always to our conversations, and now I think back and it's like I wouldn't have changed any of it for the world. You're talking about a young man who used to watch John Wayne movies so often he knew the words to the John Wayne movie and would recite them before the line came up in the movie. He believed in honor and respect, and he lived it. If you didn't have a sense of humor, you wouldn't want Sean in your room anyway. And if you had a great sense of humor and could think out of the box, he was perfect for that. That means that he was a good fit for the Marines. You do have to think out of the box. And he was very proud to be a farm kid. He used to call himself a farm kid. One time he called me up and said, "Mom, I made a wall." I said, "Honey, what do you mean you made a wall?" "Well, they needed office space, so I made them a wall." I said, "Were you supposed to make them a wall?" "Well, everybody was standing around waiting for carpenters. I knew how to make a wall, so I made a wall. I asked for 2x4s, I asked for nails, I asked for a hammer, I asked for a saw. I did it myself." I said, "Well, is the wall going to stand?" He said, "Yep, it's going to stand." I said, "Well, good for you. I'm glad you're there." You know, so he could think outside of the box, and he was going to do what needed to be done. On the 14th of December, early in the morning, they knew that there was going to be an attack. From what I've been verbally told is they were up on a rooftop and they knew an attack was imminent. I don't know how or why. Now, Sean was due to be relieved long before this attack occurred off the machine gun, but he did not do that. He would not give up his position. And I think that's because he knew his ability. He knew he was pretty lethal with that machinery, with that weapon, and he wasn't going to ask anybody to do anything that he himself was not going to do. So he stayed his ground, not only knowing that there was an attack, but knowing that this was going to be an exposed situation. And so he took out one of their machine guns and one of the enemy. They didn't describe, you know, if it was Al-Qaeda or anything. They just said one of their enemy until he was shot. And then thus airlifted to Kandahar and then put on life supports and then flown to Germany at Landstuhl. So he was a tough kid. From the start, and I'm sorry I don't know when this started, but it must have been January, when one of my teacher colleagues, Meredith Boucher, came to me and said, "We'd like to run the Old Glory in Sean's honor." And at that time, I didn't know what it was. I was still getting used to being considered a Gold Star mom. I was still used to putting all the finances and everything in place. So I said, Meredith, please, I would love to do it, but I don't have the wherewithal right now to take that on. And she said, I'll take care of it. And I knew she would. And then throughout the next few weeks, she said, what if we did t-shirts with his picture on? Would you give me a picture? I said, sure, which one do you like? Meredith took the ball and ran with it, and we have several people who are going to be there participating. It's just much larger than I ever dreamed. I have kids running it, and I never dreamed that that would happen. And it's all because people know how much of an impact someone's passing in this manner has meant to me, to his brother and sister, and to a whole lot of other people. There are some wonderfully good people and organizations out there that constantly and continually put their toes on the line, so to speak, their boots on the ground, if you will, to use a military term. The Patriot Guard, Beyond the Yellow Ribbon, they're in every community. And they could be making meals it's a simple thing to do. They could be making meals for a woman whose husband's deployed because they need to be, and they have 5 children. If there is a small task that you might be good at, please put that forward. It doesn't have to be a huge commitment. Maybe it's just going to an event like the Old Glory Run. Maybe it's standing up at the first flag you see in a parade, because that's what you're supposed to do. Maybe it's asking someone to, your children to mow a lawn for someone whose lawnmower's broken and their brother or son is over on deployment. It doesn't take much. The Blue Star moms are out there. The Gold Star moms are out there. And if people outside of the realm of those groups were to participate, think what a bigger impact it would be. There's wonderful organizations, and if you can't participate in the organizations, then figure out a way that you can do something. Because there's people pounding sand in other parts of the world, and they're leaving people that they love and love them to do that.